President Trump delivered remarks today at the breakfast with Republican senators. The president commented on yesterday's election results, the government shutdown, and other topics.
And last night, it was, not expected to be a victory. It was very Democrat areas, but I don't think it was good for Republicans. I don't think it was good. I'm not sure it was good for anybody. But we had an interesting evening, and we learned a lot, and we're going to talk about that. But I thought we'd have a discussion after the press leaves about what last night represented and what we should do about it, and also about the shutdown and how that relates to last night. I think if you read the pollsters, the shutdown was a big factor, negative for the Republicans, and that was a big factor.
Trump said he didn't feel Democrats are really getting the blame for what he called the disastrous Democrat-created government shutdown, now officially the longest in American history.
It's time for Republicans to do what they have to do, and that's terminate the filibuster. It's the only way you can do it. And if you don't terminate the filibuster, you'll be in bad shape. We won't pass any legislation. There'll be no legislation passed for 3.25. We have 3.25 years, so that's a long time. If I thought that they weren't going to pass the filibuster, I wouldn't even bring it up. They're going to pass it within the first hour. If they take power, and it's more likely that they take power if we don't do it, because we're not going to be passing any legislation. They're not going to approve anything. We're going to go 3.25 years. There won't be one bill that we're going to pass, because the easiest thing to pass is exactly right now what they won't pass. And they'll do that, and they'll wreak havoc. But let's assume they get in. They're doing it anyway, so it wouldn't matter. They're doing it anyway.
Trump also criticized mail-in voting, calling it prone to corruption. And he took issue with some blue slip rules that let senators block his U.S. attorney nominations. Trump said his administration's tax cuts and job growth prove Republicans can deliver results if they can move legislation without obstruction. The president also called and recalled an incident from his meeting with Chinese regime leader Xi Jinping in South Korea last week.
So he's here, and he's got about 6 people on each side. And every one of those people was standing like this. They were at attention. And I made a comment to one of them, and I got no response. I said, "Are you going to answer me?" I got no response. And President Xi didn't let him have any. So if there's any question, I said, I want my cabinet to behave like that. That's the way. I'm demanding that I want them sitting up like that, Tim, just nice and straight. I never saw posture like that. I've never seen men so scared in their lives. They have the equivalent of a vice president. He was. I said, "Are you going to answer my question?" And he's like, he doesn't move. I said, "What's wrong with this guy?" "I will answer all questions."
Trump was explaining how he tried talking to Chinese officials while they stood next to Xi Jinping and got no response. He made the room laugh by saying Vice President J.D. Vance doesn't behave like that and budges into conversations.